Hello everyone. Today's mini session is again on Jimi Hendrix style guitar playing, and this one will be on the tune Have You Ever Been to Electric Ladyland? The first one I did was on Little Wing, so I'm going to expand a bit on the principles that I did in the first video on Little Wing, and maybe add a couple things and get it to, I introduce some new devices and maybe extend the principles from the Little Wing clip. Okay, make things perhaps a bit more elaborate and talk about maybe how Hendrix's playing has influenced some more modern artists and discuss maybe some of the ways that might have occurred. Okay, the first thing is to go through the basic chords, and what's nice about this tune is it goes through a lot of chord changes. You know, Little Wing is a great tune. The changes are a little more basic, and although Hendrix tunes down, I will say this, I'm going to do the tune in A flat. So I'm not going to tune the instrument down. I'm going to do it as I hear it, okay? And I think A flat's kind of cool. If you don't play in some of those keys, it might be a good opportunity to start. So the chord changes I'm working with are A flat. So we're going with A flat major to a C minor, C minor 7 perhaps, then a G minor 7, to a G flat major 7, or a G flat major, D flat major 7, C minor 7, B flat minor 7, and then this would be a D flat triad over an E flat. A lot of times people call that an 11th chord, an E flat 11. Etc. So A flat, C minor, G minor, etc. Okay? So we're going to talk again about using the pentatonic scales as fills between the chords. Okay? We're going to use the traditional Hendrix vocabulary and perhaps extend that a little bit. So on the A flat chord we have it. Okay, so we're going to use the pentatonic scales within that area. We'll start with A flat. So we know that one. And again, these sort of R&B, Curtis Mayfield sort of guitar. Okay, and also we can add the 7th, so this scale is okay too. This is the E flat pentatonic. That sounds kind of cool. It gives it a little contrast. If you're used to thinking minors, you could think C minor pentatonic. That might be easier to do. You know, that sort of a thing. Okay, and then I go to the C minor, so I can keep the same kind of thinking. I'll play the C minor 7 right up here at the 8th fret. And again, these pentatonic kind of sound. What's nice about that chord formation is it allows for so many interesting things because you've got the bar held down. You know. So again, I'm using that Little Wing, the 5ths, and all the double stops in the pentatonic scale. That would sound like something simple like that would sound really cool. And that's the beauty of this. Here's the G minor 7. I'll do the same thing. So I'm thinking the G minor pentatonic. I so enjoy playing this stuff. It's just really, it plays itself. And it's the sort of thing that you can just sit down and play the guitar. You know, you don't have to, there doesn't have to be an agenda. You can just improvise and have it sound good. So there's the G minor. Now on the G flat major 7, we can do a G flat major pentatonic, you know. Keep it within the... I'm using the 7th there too. So I might use the D flat major pentatonic, think up a 5th. Or if you like, you can think of it as a B flat minor, if you like, that's okay. Like here, it would be here. That sounds great. Really nice. Get that pinky out. And notice it comes right out of the chord. You know, if you're really, sometimes when the nerves get the best of you, you can really just pry that chord apart. That sounds good too. So if I was... Nice melody. Yeah, that's very nice. Now D flat major 7, and I'll play it right here. If you're playing these sort of chords, that's okay too. What's nice about this is the old school chords work. You know, they all work. So again, this goes quickly. So grab what you can. You know, little wing, sort of. So there's not a lot of time. Come down to the B flat minor, use the B flat pentatonic, the minor. That's okay. And then sing. What's nice about this E flat chord, this E flat 11, is it sort of sounds like the B minor 7. So you can, again, sounds great. Or you can use the F minor. That sounds nice. A flat major pentatonic. So it's, even though it's in A flat, that's what kind of gives it. Hear it? Sounds like it goes home. Okay. So make sure you go for each position and get the most out of it that you can. And I would say either play the pentatonic on the root or up a 5th if it's major, you know, minor, the same thing. So it's A flat, could be an A flat major, or it could be an E flat major. Same thing with this. You want to hang out on the D flat a little bit, you know, it's a D flat major pentatonic, or it's an A flat. That still sounds great. You notice it just gives it a different color. Okay, so again, find all of the voicings that you have. You know, I could have played the A flat here. I could play the, you know. Hendrix plays those 5ths. Very important part of our conversation. Those are very important. And again, we see them in castles made of sand, you know. You know, we see them there, we see them in Little Wing. You know, that sort of thing. And he plays them in electric lighting. Because we could have done those in the G minor, etc. There, and they give us some additional fills as well, because you can sort of fill. I'm doing them like right here. I'm just moving it over, and I can get very Hendrix. So that's a G flat major. It's just all fifths, and then inside I can get that B flat up top. You know, the listener can hear a bunch of different things having. You know, that B flat rings. It's really nice. So we can use the fifths, and again, all those pentatonic scales, all those, like I said, R&B, Curtis Mayfield. They all work for each of the chords, okay? A quick note on the fifths. And I think those are important, and I think they've had an influence. The first time I really encountered these things is interesting. I was doing a transcription for my teacher at that time was Dennis Sandole, and he was very fond of Debussy, and so was I. And he said, you know, pick something to transcribe, and I said, well, I'd like to do the Sunken Cathedral, that piece. And I remember going through the transcription. I'll see if I can remember just this little bit. But I remember a light bulb went off because I think there was a pedal tone on C, and I think Debussy put a series of like fourths and fifths above it, almost like power chords. Like, you know, it's a C. You know, this sort of a thing. I remember thinking, wow, that's really interesting because it all colors a C chord. It all sounds like C major. He does D, G, D, and then E, A, E. And we could make those fifths too if we wanted. And then he does G, C, G, and then A, D, A, all fourths and fifths. And then B, E, and B sounds like a major 7. And then D, G, and D. And then back to E, A. I just thought that was what a magnificent sound that, you know. And it just reminded me of the Hendrix, and it's really kind of colored my conception of playing the Hendrix stuff too, because I tend to add those sorts of things, you know. I'm just playing fifths, so I'm going F, B flat, and F, and then A flat, D flat, and A flat, and then B flat, E flat, and then D flat, A flat. See, that it works with the E flat and the bass too. You know, and it would work, you know, whatever, right there. So, over each one of those. Also, I think it's important is that, it's funny, when I first heard Eric Johnson's music, I felt like I heard that Hendrix influence, and he sort of took it to the next level, I think, in a really positive way. I'm not quoting any of his works, but you know, when I hear this sort of thing, I almost hear something really clever that he does. A lot of times he'll just add notes to the fifths. For instance, this one, G flat, D flat, and A flat. Now if you add another A flat, it has this sound. You know, it has that sort of sound, just adding other intervals to those. And obviously, you could add it inside too. I mean, there's that chord. I added a C. I could add a B flat. It's a very nice sound. Now, if you took that to the next level, and you sort of expand that fifths idea, again, coming from this Hendrix, you know, this sort of a, could expand this. Here I played on these strings, G flat, D flat, and A flat. I put a B above it like we did. You know. Watch this. There's an A flat, there's an A flat, an E flat, and a B flat, and I add another fifth on top. So A flat, E flat, B flat, E flat. We're at an F. Has a really open fifth, almost sounds orchestral. Reminds me of Bartok or Stravinsky or somebody like that. These sorts of things. And you could figure them like this. Watch. And this gets you into some really great areas. Again, sort of reminding us of maybe some aspects of Eric Johnson's work. Watch this. I'll start a D flat, A flat, E flat, and another A flat, or maybe a B flat. You know, could really squeeze a melody out of that, which very pentatonic sounding. And all I'm doing is playing those fifths that I got from Hendrix. Okay? And I think this is kind of where Eric Johnson took it, which is very creative. Okay, so experiment with those. You can play them on the lower ones, A flat, E flat, B flat, and F. That's nice too. And they can meld into the, you know, they can meld into this thing. So if I did the whole tune with those sounds, see, I could do that. What's nice is it allows me to build inner melodies with the pentatonics as well. It allows me to sort of have fun within one area, and I'm really not doing a lot in terms of fast or technical work, but just squeezing out melody and squeezing out fills. It allows me to sound more complete as a solo player with a pick or hybrid. I mean, you know. Really nice stuff. Just using the fifths. Again, taking from Hendrix. You know, that's basically what we're doing. So I hope you found this informative. Have a listen to Electric Ladyland, and I encourage you to try it in A flat. It's nice having the open strings, but I think it's also nice being able to do the flat keys that are a little more uncommon for us as guitarists, and also making it sound full without the open strings, you know, and having to make tones ring out and get a lot of music out of one area. Yeah, out of one area with a minimum of notes ringing in open areas and these sorts of things. So it'll help us as soloists, whether that's playing lines or whether that's just, again, playing arrangements on the guitar and improvising on the guitar. So I hope you found all of this helpful and useful, this use of fifths and the Hendrix style of solo guitar playing. Encourage you again, check out Electric Ladyland and come up with your own version using some of those ideas and expand them. The fifths, the pentatonic scales is really what we're looking at. And listen to some Debussy, listen to Ravel as well, some of the Impressionists. They've got some great licks in there for us as chord players. Okay, I give Skype instruction, just a quick note, and again, my Skype instruction sessions on guitar are custom made to what you want to do. They're not pre-packaged, they're entirely bespoke, okay, so they're all about what you want to do and attaining your goals as an instrumentalist. And I've had great fortune to work with some amazing players all over the globe, so I'd love to have you aboard. Just please write me on and the link below. Send me a message, and I'd love to get started with you. Thanks again for allowing me to share this time.